Hey guys, it's Ricky here with DashCam Documentaries, and today we are going to visit one of the most historic houses in Glendale, California. In fact, the most historic, I would say. It's called El Miradero, and it's the former house of Leslie Brand, who's one of the founders of the city of Glendale. And there you can see it up ahead. It is quite an intriguing and imposing sight as you drive up this street leading up to the residence of Mr. Brand. So today we're going to go inside and we're going to learn the history behind it. And as always, you're welcome to join me. So just get in the car and buckle up. Okay, now I am parked outside of the gates of El Miradero, the historic home of Leslie Brand. Now, Leslie Brand got the idea to build this Eastern Indian style of architecture when he visited the World Fair in Chicago with his wife in 1893, and he saw a pavilion that was in the East Indian style that was itself inspired by the Taj Mahal. And he and his wife planned that one day they would build a house in this style. And when he came here to Glendale, California, he was quite the innovator of the city. He wanted to pattern the city of Glendale after Galveston, Texas, where he lived for a short while. And he wanted to create a avenue, a boulevard going through the city that would be named after him, that would be the center of business and commerce. And he did succeed. He was quite successful in building up the city of Glendale and became so wealthy that finally he was able to build this Eastern Indian mansion of his dreams. So in 1902, he hired his brother-in-law, Nathaniel Dryden, to build this house. And it was finally completed 2 years later in 1904. And there it is in front of us. We are going to approach it. You can see the beauty that went into creating this residence. Now, he built it with 13 rooms, including a central solarium. It had the finest materials inside, including Tiffany glasswork, oak and mahogany finishes, a huge carved fireplace. He had a billiards room with a bar in the back near the hill back there, where several of Hollywood elites would really gather and party here with him, including the likes of Mary Pickford and such. And it was quite the residence to be in. Now I'm going to hook around here and give you another view. Now it is now a library. Now we're going to get to that part of the story of how it became a library and a park. But back when Leslie Brand lived here, it was his family home and he raised kids here. And in April 1st of 1921, he actually had a fly-in. Now, if you don't know what a fly-in is, and I'm guessing most of you don't, it's because really we don't have them anymore. And a fly-in is where he actually invited upwards of 100 people to fly into the park with their planes and land right here where I'm driving right now. He closed the gates in the front so you cannot drive in, you had to fly your plane. And several of his famous and rich friends would fly in for that luncheon. Now, a lot of them did tricks and stunts up in these skies above us here before they landed on the little strip he built. And then finally they entered the party, and that's how they came. So that's, quite a famous story around here in Glendale. Now we're gonna hook back around. So what happened after Mr. Brand settled here with his family and raised his kids? Well, in 1924, unfortunately, Mr. Brand was diagnosed with incurable terminal cancer, and he was going to die, so he bequeathed the 800 acres around here, except the house, to the city of Glendale right away. And he's told them when he finally dies that they can have his house and the additional 50 acres that come along with it, as long as they turn it into a library and a park and name it after him, which they did, and it's now called Brand Park and Library. And he said they must maintain it to the utmost in beauty, and the city definitely has. Now I'm going to come around here one last time to give you guys a good view here. So now it is a library and park grounds all around where people enjoy themselves and have picnics and barbecues, and it is quite the place to be. Now today is a weekday, so you don't really see too many people, but it is definitely enjoyed the way Leslie Brand wanted it to be. And a lot of visitors here do notice that this place may be haunted. They do hear his voice yelling things like "go," and they have seen apparitions in the areas around here. And they think that it's Mr. Brand still looking over the city that he built and loved so much. Now, other interesting areas here in Brand Park, I'm going to come across this road here. This is called the Doctor's House. It is a restored Victorian house that was formerly lived in by 4 different sets of doctors, which is where it gets its name, the Doctor's House. Now you can rent it out currently for parties or banquets, but you can see it is quite a beautiful restored Victorian masterpiece. So that's the story of Brand Park and Library in El Miradero. By the way, Miradero is Spanish for the lookout, and that's the way Mr. Brand wanted it, because he wanted to live here and look out into the city of Glendale that he helped build and pioneer. And even now that he is long gone, people do still feel he is up in the towers of El Miradero and looking out down below into this beautiful city of Glendale, California. So that'll do it for today's episode of DashCam Documentaries. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like our video and subscribe to our channel. And as I exit here, I would like to say thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on our next adventure.